Have you failed before? Do you find challenges managing your failure? Is failure something that puts you down and you feel, to a point of giving up? Or some of you have given up. Yes, and this show we've been talking about, for the past 2 episodes, we've been talking about daring in life, daring in business. So yes, what happens when you dare and you fail? What do you do? And that's why I brought the team here today to take us through, how do we manage failure? That point where everyone is laughing at you, how do you go about it? Thomas Edison, the inventor of the bulb, failed 999 times, guys. 999 times. Do you know what that means? Yeah? And he finally made it at the 1000th time. And when they asked him, why? Why did you continue? How did you feel about the failure? He said one thing. He said, you know what? I learned 999 times not to do something, not to make the light, the bulb. So you imagine, he just took the lessons. Every time he would try it, he would say, you know what? Now I know what not to do. Then he would try something else, and then he would know what not to do. Then something else, until the 1000th time when he got it. So he didn't sit out there and just feel like, oh my God, life is done, I should kill myself, No. Actually, when you decide to take failure and make it a lesson, you just learn what not to do. And today, our team is going to take us through, just how do you manage failure. But before that, just remind the viewers who you are and what you do. Sheilla.
Thank you, Doreen. My name is Sheilla Peruth, Awori, and I'm glad to be with you this evening.
Yes, Cliff.
My name is Tumwinewe Cliff. I'm a managing director at AIQ Company Limited. At AIQ, we do construction.
You do construction. Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming and honoring our invite. Yes, Herbert.
Yeah, my name is Herbert Sabiiti. I'm team leader at Ridgeline, but also the CEO of Young and Flourishing Foundation Limited. I'm glad that you have hosted me tonight. I'm very eager to learn from my friends here on how to manage failure. Yeah.
Thank you. And if you have failed before and you have a story you think someone can learn from, feel free to always slide into our chats, our DMs, or our social media platforms and let us know your story. You never know, it can impact someone. Our handles are Young and Flourishing on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So it's Young and Flourishing, and also Church of Uganda Family TV. Let us know just your story. You never know. Sheilla, have you failed before?
Yes, I have.
How was that experience for you? Did you have the patience to persevere through the failure?
Firstly, it was a very terrible feeling. Terrible feeling. Yeah, many regrets of why did I even start this venture? But however, in the long run, I learned many things. Yeah. So I think could be 3-4 years ago, I partnered with some friends of mine, and we were starting up a transportation company to include tours and travel and etc. So we acquired the first asset. It was exciting. Oh my God, going into a business, very exciting. You're still young people. If you already see the money coming into the account. However, it did not happen as we had planned it. Along the way, one of our friends got married. Now, marriage is not a bad thing. However, his partner was not in agreement with the business. And that's where the challenges started to come. And so it was a little bit a pinch on us that we had started, because we had put in a lot of time. We were seeing us taking over the tourism business. Now here we are, and of course this guy is married. He's one with his wife. We are not going to separate them because of what? Of a business. So everything started to go the other direction right from that place. And sooner or later now we needed to liquidate the asset. It seemed like the best way to even settle this issue. So at the end of the day, we actually agreed. We liquidated the asset, and that was the end of the business. Before we could even profit so much from it. So that was my experience with failure.
Do you regret liquidating and giving up?
I do regret, because I don't, when I'm starting business, I'm not only thinking about myself, I am thinking about that person I'm going to employ to drive a car. I'm thinking about the guys who are going to be washing that car. I am thinking about so many other people in the equation, and I'm thinking, where is my dream to impact Uganda going? Beyond the money coming to my account, where is the dream to impact the nation? So I regretted, but also I really regretted the fact that we did not sit to forecast the challenges that might have come, or that were going to find us along the way. Because if we had thought of some of these things, I think we would have actually had a better option other than just liquidating the asset. But in the beginning, we did not talk about it. What happens if you wake up one day and you want to get out of this business? We didn't discuss it. So here we were, and that was really our only option. And that business, I'm going to do it again, but this time in a better way.
In a better way. So now you know how not to do it.
Yeah, no, how to deal with a business, especially when it involves other people, not only yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Herbert, seems like there's a story you want to tell us.
About failure. I'm an expert in failure. I've failed many times. Thank you, Doreen. When I was growing up, I thought actually I was not academically upright, because I used to be fourth from the other side, fifth from the other side, from the other end.
You tell us which end.
Which end? The last one. Yeah, from the bottom. And moreover in KDA schools. Later, when I remember the story I told last week, not last week, but one. Later, when I decided to go to the municipal school, and I thought actually I was going to be demoted back to P6, and I managed to excel, and from then up to now, I'm really a top class student. So I think there are some people who think that maybe the environment around them makes them fail, or you need to change the environment, you need to change the way you treat the failure, the way you perceive failure. That's number one in academic. Later, of course, I was not always the top, but at least I was always getting 70s and 80s sometimes. So I realized that actually there is no one who is born rough, academically rough. It is what you put, what you focus on. In business, many times I've failed. I can see my friend Sheilla is crying over. She's crying over only one business. Maybe I can give a few examples. One is I started a local cinema or a chibanda to show football and some video. You know those translated videos in Kanyanya. And I put in some good investment. I bought this TV, good screens, and my first week was very good. It was full. Those guys, it was full and watching football. And of course, I employed my cousin as I was busy doing the what? Doing the mini hustle. That's why the other time I told you I don't like side businesses, because I didn't focus on the business I had started, so I left it to my relative and he mismanaged it. But also I didn't forecast, like Sheilla said, I didn't forecast that in Uganda, when you start something, the neighbors and all other people, they want to copy and start the same. So 5 Bibandas came in the neighborhood, and they were even much better than mine. and so the competition kicked in. At the end of the month, my cousin would take some money, and there is competition, so you find you are unable even to pay DSTV. What did I do? I closed shops. I closed. That's number one. Number two, because maybe I like meat, not only pork, I like meat. I started a butcher. I was staying in the Chevando. I think I miscalculated. Imagine staying in the Chevando and you start a butcher in Zana. So I used to wake up at 5 a.m., go to Rufra, go on border, take the meat to Zana, and I come back, bathe, and go to work. Of course, that one also couldn't last for 2 months, but I learned a lot from it. That hard work, waking up and going to Rufula, and you are fighting with those guys to the best meat. You want to serve your client the best meat. It was hectic, and that morning dew, that coldness affected me, but it was a training ground. I think the foundation of Ridgeline and other businesses I'm doing is the result of the businesses I've failed. Yes. I later, together with my friends, we started a clinic in Nigeria, and we had put our strategy. We wanted to be the best in Uganda, the best hospital in Uganda, and surprising, I've never seen any business first month you break even and even get more. So our doctor whom we had partnered with had a gifted hand. That's what they say, had a gifted hand, and we started prospering, but there was some disagreements among us partners. Like Sheilla said, among us partners, that made us lose that business, unfortunately. But from then I know how to manage partnership business. So I was learning. So I have very many examples, but for now, those are few.
Seems this topic is tickling my panel here. Cliff, I saw you even. Sheila, there is a pending question for you.
I want to ask Herbert, what was informing the lines of business from Chibanda to meat and now to medical field? I'm trying to wonder the inspiration.
The inspiration is anything that is legally accepted and is right with my faith and can make money, I go for it. So
the simple question is, how were you handling your main hustle when you were doing the butchery stuff?
The butchery stuff, I had employed someone who was this time not a relative. Because
you had learned from your failure.
I learned from my failure. It's good to learn from your failure. And by the way, we don't employ relatives even at Ridgeline now. How we have a policy, we can't employ relatives. Yeah, I had someone, and he was good, but man, waking up at 5 a.m. every day, and sometimes you sell the meat, and other times you find half of it has gotten spoiled, and that's the loss. I decided that business, let me close it.
Yes. Interesting. You did mention that you learned how to treat failure. I think the world doesn't prepare us a lot enough on how to treat failure.
Yeah, sure.
It's success. Are you number one? Are you number one? How we celebrate this, we celebrate, but when it comes to failure, we are not prepared enough. So when it comes, some of us find ourselves in depression. Some of us find ourselves giving up. You get it?
True.
So I think it's important for parents to start, to let their children know it's actually okay to fail.
Yeah, sure.
But maybe now ask them, what have you learned from this failure? Don't you think that would be a better way of raising a new generation?
Exactly.
You get it? Because failure is part of life. The least you can do is prepare for it. If you're just joining us today, we're discussing really managing failure. How do you, after daring, after doing the best you can to achieve certain results, and it doesn't go your way? Maybe COVID hits, and the business, now your clients are not there anymore. How do you go about it? This is Flourishing Hub. It airs on your TV screens and YouTube every 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Monday. Yeah, so always tune in and just learn and grow with us. We also hope to get feedback from you. Just go to our social media platforms of Young and Flourishing, also Church of Uganda Family TV. Let us know what you're learning from us and also what you can teach us. Cliff, what can you tell us? Have you ever failed before? And if yes, it's like, where's it? It's like, where's it? I'm interested to know.
Thank you, Doreen, for having me again. Yes, I've failed so many times. As I'd said on one of these shows, I was a first graduate in our family, and then become, I had hoped, finally, I've arrived.
Yeah.
So I graduated on a sad note on the 1st April. So I went to
today, we're not sure. We actually need to check your results.
Yes, Makere had just introduced this series of graduation. My graduation date fell on 1st April.
Is that why it's sad?
I don't know. Yes, you listen to me. So I went to the field and I thought finally I'd arrived. So I started looking for jobs. Now my first job actually came in early, hardly 4 months into the field. I started working, and a year down the road, I didn't feel the terms. I resigned to the streets.
Went to the streets.
Yeah, it was a good decision. If you asked me, I would resign again if the case. But finding a job after that resignation was so hard, very hard, very, very, very hard. A year passed, my peers started getting opportunities of advancing their education. They went for the second degree, and came back, and I was still in the same state. It was so bad because everyone at home wanted to see the return of this Messiah that had appeared. So, and I remember I started putting up my application here and there, organization to organization, and of course when you're on the street at home, aid was cut, so I was on my own.
Wow.
Hey, it was hot. Of course, I had a team of friends who were like me, and we found a way of really supporting ourselves in that state. So I threw application here, East, West, and South. In Juba, that's when Connie had finished doing his manyanga. I didn't care where I fell. Actually, I wanted high-risk areas because I know most people don't feel like going there. And I had a feeling that if there's calamity, even to death, by the way, if there's calamity, I should be the last to die. So I didn't care.
Wow.
So at the end of the year, I don't remember which year, I took stock of the application I put across, both physical and on email. The physical one, when I counted, they were crossing. They're getting around 200 applications.
Wow.
200.
And I sat down and like, you man. And the emails were more because there you're not spending. You're just typing, throw it there.
What?
I was like, where is this heading?
200, no response.
No response. No one telling me, we've seen it. Actually, some organization to date, if I meet some people, I ask them, who was your HR around this time? Because I want to find out what was wrong with my application. And I can assure you, you do HR management at your place. I would work on my CV, I would work on my cover letter, I would make sure that it's really to the point.
Top notch.
No one would get back to me. So when I clocked 200, I was like, I want to count further than this, because I realized I was going to lose it. I sat down and I told myself, Cliff, you're a failure, proper. So it was very, very hard. Along the way, I got some jobs through networks, and of course, I wasn't happy, because my expectation of work, I think I wanted accelerated progress, and I was underemployed for the rest of my period. Whenever April first came, I would remember my graduation, and all the things would run in my mind. Yeah, failure. This is year what? This is the first year, no job. Second year, third. Guys who went for 2-3 years of masters, they are back, they are working, Cliff in the same spot. It was bad. I slid into depression. I didn't know how depression, but when I think back, I think I got into depression. But I bounced back, and I found work at some point, and life began. I felt, actually, when we are talking about failure here, there's failure that we fail to recognize, that actually that accounts for most of the dates. Rejection. I don't know how much you've ever gone through a rejection. I went through rejection. It's bad, because you've seen people jump over the buildings. Failure to manage rejection can properly crush you. And that's why you've had cases of suicide, cases of all kinds. So, I want to get into that, but as we talk about failure, managing failure, we could also stand into management of rejection. It's not always the end of life. You can bounce back, take a risk, and move on.
Wow, 200 applications.
I did count the emails.
And there were more.
I was going to run mad. I just stopped myself.
I think he was closing in with almost excellence.
You get. But what lesson did you pick from that experience?
Patience, persistence. And of course, as a Christian, God has the last nail in this whole thing. I just said, God, where are you in this whole thing? I don't know, people don't have God in my position, what they would do. But for me, I was like, God, you gave me this degree, it should make sense.
It should make sense.
Worst case, to my parents. Actually, I wasn't doing this for myself. I wasn't feeding this for myself, I was feeding it for my parents.
Yeah.
At least to my parents and my village mates. Should
Okay.
make sense out of this.
The pressure was too much.
Yeah.
Too much pressure.
Yes.
Interesting. Wow. I'm just imagining failing 200 times. Just applying 200 times, and that is even just really without mentioning the numerous emails he sent. But let's take a short break, and when we come back, we shall delve deeper and understand how important failure is and how to manage failure. What are some of the things we can do? Is quitting the best option? Or should we be persistent? Or should we know actually when to quit? Because sometimes quitting is the right thing to do. So just understanding the difference. Yeah? So stay with us. Let's keep learning together. This is Flourishing Hub, which is a show centered around empowering young people to be the best versions of themselves. And as a young and flourishing network, we have 4 major pillars. 1, mentorship. 2, daring. 3, money. 4, strategy. So we're going to bring for you different topics around these major 4 pillars. And we hope they can impact your life and make you the best version of yourself. See you in a bit.
Family Talk Show. And we love you so much every time you tune in Church of Uganda Family TV. You have oneness in your marriage, you have oneness in your family.
Actually, this is what God has called married people to.
We need to go back and appreciate the plan God gave us for that family. The plan God wants us to have. We need to work hard, and God will bless the works of our hands.
Amen.
Do you have a business that you are looking to grow? Advertising with Church of Uganda Family TV is the way to go. We are located on Church House, level 13, along Kampala Road. We offer favorable rates and an extremely creative production team that will work with you to take your business to the next level. To give us a ring, call us on 0781 084215 or 0750 655232. Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives.
Brethren, yes we can. We can clear the debt of Church House, and I want to invite you to give generously to the love gift. May God bless you as you give.
Do you know that you can now enjoy great enriching shows anywhere through the Family TV app? Here is how to download it. Open Play Store on your phone. Search for the Family TV app. Click Install. After installing it, open it and enjoy enriching content anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Family TV, enriching lives. Hour of prayer.
Let me carry the presence that can chase away demons. Let me carry the presence that can deal with the enemy.
Father, we are praying, Jehovah, that indeed your grace will be sufficient for us within this season.
Teach them, Lord, what it means to draw near to you, not to ask for things, not to present a shopping list, but simply to worship you.
We trust in you, Spirit of the living God. We have confidence in you that whatever we ask in your name, it shall be done. In Jesus' name.
Every spirit of shedding blood, every spirit of child sacrifice, every spirit of abortion, killing innocent children, I put you down.
Applications, no response, and uncounted emails, no response. Just imagine it were you. Yeah, how would that go for you? Cliff, how did you feel in that moment? Did you ever want to give up?
I never gave up. I never gave up.
Why did you?
I have faith in God. I had faith in God. I still have faith in God. That's one. Two, I had no backfill position. I didn't have where to go. They had paid school fee for me. They expected me to make it in life. So, I got a sales job in UTL then. I started selling airtime and CDM phones, these landline phones, on commission. And later I got to work in a newspaper as an accountant. Of course, they were not my expectations, but I had learned to value work because I had lived without work. So I asked God, you know what, I am here, I don't know why I'm here, it's not paying me as much, I don't feel motivated as it should be, but there's a reason why I'm here. So I decided to value work, and I told God, I want to exhaust this place and you show me where next I should go. So I kept asking God, now I'm here, I think I've exhausted this place, what next? What next? So I used this opportunity to excel at what I was doing. However much it was not paying, I would actually try to seek for more roles. And I wasn't happy. I'd be like, okay, let me do it. Since high school, I'd learned this scripture, which actually had made a tagline for my emails. I can do all things through Christ. So whenever I would sign on to mail, I think my Yahoo still has that tagline. I can do all things. Then whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. I would keep reciting this for the years I was in those employment. That employment that wasn't really exciting. But probably for some reason, God never makes a mistake. It was training ground for me. Later I got a job that actually paid me like 4 times of what I was getting.
Wow, congratulations.
For the first time I felt
you could smile again.
My value had come. So I worked, and I didn't work there for a long time. I gave it, I think, 2 years. I was able to change the department. I had issues, I transformed the place, and I felt I'd finished my role there. I moved on to the next place, again, because I think I had hunger to take ladders very fast, because I felt I'd lost a bit of time. So when an opportunity again opened, I moved on. Again, the pay was really fine. I could compare with my peers and feel, yeah, at least we are at par. So, but what did I learn? Valuing work, working diligently, giving it my all, and excelling at what I do. Yes.
Herbert, how have you managed failure in life?
Failure.
When the Bibanda has failed, meeting, hospital, what?
Yeah, thank you.
And rejection.
Rejection is for Cliff.
From a girl.
Rejection is from Cliff. Actually, you should tell us why he doesn't want to tell us.
But that girl probably had his heart. But it's okay.
Yeah, I've over time realized that if I don't take responsibility for my failure, I will not manage it well. First of all, I feel it is okay to fail, and I also feel that it is okay to be hurt. It is okay, because some people, especially they say men don't cry, men don't get hurt. It's okay to feel hurt when you are failed. Then you take responsibility. Some people even blame non-living things. You can even bang the door when you are entering your room, as if the door has messed up with you. I feel like it is okay to take responsibility of your failure, and you learn from it. So I've learned failure in businesses. I've learned, for example, how to build systems, how to trust, how to get the right partners, and what you need to do as partners. I've learned a lot. So you take responsibility and try to do better next time. Then also, it's not the end of the world. Like at that moment, when Cliff felt like I've been rejected by these organizations 200 times, at that time you cannot tell him that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. When you are inside the tunnel and someone tells you that there is a light, and it is true, by the way, there is a light, but you cannot tell me that that crap that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But it's true. There is always light at the end of the tunnel, and every darkness, the morning will come and the sunshine will rise, and you get up. But also, I have also learned that you can restructure yourself, your life. I've never told you here how I shifted from high rent to low rent so that I can cope up with the situation at hand. So you can decide to restructure your life, how you behave. Because there's time when I lost the job. And even the messages that would come to call me for wedding meetings, they were no longer coming to my phone. So you feel like you are in an island. You feel like you are deserted. You are in a place where you feel, even when the public doesn't feel bad against you, you feel that everyone hates me. You have that feeling. You feel that these guys, maybe because I don't have anything, that's why they don't want to greet me. It becomes to you. Yet
Start
even
projecting it.
And if you keep feeding negative thoughts in your mind, you find you can go into a serious depression. And depression is really special to young people and to the youth. When the expectations are too high and you are there, nothing is coming forth, you find it is difficult for you. But I tell you, at a time like this, you need people. At a time like this, you need networks, and that's why Young and Flourishing Network is out there for you. I felt when Cliff was talking, I felt there are very many young people out there who have finished universities, who have finished tertiary, even who have dropped out of schools, and they feel hopeless. How can we help them so that they can come back to life? That's why we have different mentors, like Cliff, who has gone through that scenario. Can help you, can come to us, and we assign you mentors, and you are helped. Let's live this world together, because such kind of challenges and failure are there, and they are part of life.
Yes, indeed, and there is always someone who has experienced what you're experiencing today, but they probably experienced it before. So walking a journey with them can be helpful for you in terms of managing certain expectations of life, certain timelines we have put on ourselves. You feel like by 25, by 30, I need to have a car, I need to have a house, I need to have, Cliff.
Some of those can work against you.
Yes.
When things are tight.
I hear you. Indeed. Sheila, how would you, in a society that glorifies success and diminishes failure, yet failure is part of life?
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process. It actually makes us better. It really, if we embrace it and learn from it, we become better versions of ourselves. So how would you advise someone to manage this, the stress that comes with failure?
Thank you, Doreen. I want to say that failure should not be our primary place of learning. However, when it happens, there is a way out of it. I want to emphasize that failure should not be our primary place of learning, because there is wisdom by which we learn, or even learning from other people's failure. But in case you are at a place and you have failed, there's something that you can do about it. For society, I want to quote Henry Ford. Henry Ford made a statement and said that failure is only an opportunity to come back again, to do the same thing again, only that you're going to do it more intelligently. Only that you're going to do it more intelligently. That's what Henry Ford said. And I think that is what society should do. Our parents, our mentors, our teachers, we need to let people know. We shouldn't encourage people to fail. But if they have failed, we just need to help hold their hands and show them the better way to do it. Show them the wiser way. I don't know whether Edison had anybody to actually hold his hand, but get that person out there and show them that if you did not make it through this transportation business, I think I can advise you this way. Society needs to appreciate the fact that as we invent, there are many experiments to be done. The first experiment may not be the exact one, but it doesn't mean that it's not heading towards the final experiment. So society needs to appreciate that. I think it's Elon Musk that keeps saying that organizations want to celebrate success all the time. But if you're not failing, that means you're not inventing enough. And I think, you can see by his successes out there. So what am I telling society? Let's encourage people to do things. Let's encourage them. Let's not be at the critiquing end of it. It's important to critique, but don't end at critiquing. After you've critiqued somebody, can you hold their hand and direct them on the better way to do it? For the person that is doing it, deal with your mindset. Herbert has said that, you need people at that particular time when you have failed, you need networks, but sometimes those people around you might even be the one that are speaking worse about that failure or rejection, like Cliff said. So for the person, you must deal with your mindset to know that, wait a minute, I may not, because failure is just failure to achieve unexpected end. Not so. It's failure it's your inability to achieve an expected end. So if you have not achieved it today, it doesn't mean in 2023 you won't achieve it. It doesn't mean today, this is April, it doesn't mean in May you're not going to achieve it. So for the person who is going through the failure, your mindset is very important. You need to make sure you're feeding on the right things.
Mindset, very important. They usually say, as man thinketh, so is he. So if you entertain negative thoughts, your world will become negative. If whatever you focus on expands.
Actually, what you think is what you attract.
What you think is what you attract, yes. So if you focus on it, it just keeps growing. And now you'll be there, why am I only saying bad things? Look within.
But again, Doreen, we are living in the first world. Very fast, you see, like he kept on mentioning his friends were doing further studies, and you feel left behind. The guys you started with, now they are driving, they are married, they are wedding. For you just go there to carry the chairs. You can't in their wedding. Carry chairs in their wedding. You
don't even have the confidence to propose to someone's daughter.
Especially in this generation.
Yes. When you don't have a job, you're at zero.
But I think we need to advise young people to, at a time like that, you walk your lane. Don't live someone's life.
That comparison now.
Well said.
Walk your lane and don't feel like the world is leaving you behind. Going where, by the way?
You are the world.
Going where?
That's your name,
Yes, you had something to say?
No, I think young people don't feel like you are under pressure because of your peers. You can always catch up with them if you want to compete with them, but don't go into competition. I talk to many young people, the youth out there, and they feel like it's because I'm being left behind. Don't feel like being left behind. Walk in your lane, and you at an opportune time, God is going to to uplift you. By the way, also, I've realized that you can grow faster and then you come down, you fall. So steady progress is very important. But if you want to climb very fast, that's why you compromise yourself, and there's of course life price to pay. That's why you're a doctor and you go. You start stealing and selling medicine because you want to build a house, and that house in the bedroom, it keeps telling you that you stole medicine. Yeah. Yes. So rather than growing fast and you fall down, and it happens, you rather grow thread by thread, and you have that foundation.
Indeed, indeed. Cliff, after applying over 200 times and being rejected, with again numerous emails not being responded to, you finally get a job. Jobs here and here. Did you ever quit again?
Yes.
Because I would assume you've learned your lesson.
That's how I found myself with AIQ.
So you quit again. You fired your boss.
Exactly.
Wow. It's the confidence for me. Because tell us, how did that?
Of course, that was I outgrow my role, and I felt there wasn't so much I'm adding, and of course, if I was to go beyond that level, the only thing to do was to get the MD off, and I become the MD, which wasn't going to happen. So I felt again I'd outgrown the place. And as you grow older, I know Doreen, you're still young, opportunities narrows down, especially in the employment world. Sector, you start seeing those limitations of 35 to 40, and those positions start reducing. And like when they are saying 23 to, So I had gotten to those stages where opportunity started reducing, and I wasn't growing further to because when you're in 35 now, executive directors, there are very few opportunities. So I was like, Cliff, where do you fall now? So of course the feeling of resigning, my first job were still alive in my mind, and I know what I went through to find another job. And it was a tough decision. I slept on it for 2 years. And one December, so we're going for Christmas, I said, Cliff, you're not reporting here again next year. And I effected it.
Did that ever change your whole experience in employment? Did it ever change your perspective towards work?
Of course, a lot has changed. A lot has changed when you leave work to begin your own business. The dynamics are different. It's all about you now, how you manage your time. There is no one to call you and say, where's my report? Where's this and the other? It's about you. So I went out and began, but I was so happy that now this was about me.
Yeah.
Whatever effort I put in this thing, it's mine. And the experiences, the work values I had carried along really have come in play and have helped me a lot. Even those jobs I was despising, there is a lot that I've carried here that I'm using, that I'm benefiting from.
Herbert, would you advise someone to leave their job before they even get another job, or before this, before their business gets off the ground?
Yeah, I did that. I know what I went through. So why do you want me to advise someone to do
because you're telling people to dare. You're telling people to dare, and I would like to believe if I'm leaving my job, if I have another job, or before my business gets off ground. That's a very big dare. You better justify, such things.
Yeah, because if you dared like that, you won't die. So, you'll be there, but you know that you will suffer. it's one thing of telling people you come and start a business, and so another thing of having it, making it to run and grow and start earning an income. For if you are out there and you think that it is simple, don't dare. It is difficult, but that's what it is. And there is always a price to pay. Building
how
region
much was on your account when you quit?
700,000. And I had a loan of 5 million.
And you had a wife and children?
Yes.
How many kids at that time?
2.
2 kids.
No,
with
one and pregnant. She was pregnant.
At 700,000.
At
Yes.
700,000.
Oh, great. That's dare.
I dared.
That's really daring.
But I went through a lot, which I encourage young people. You can at that age. I was at 32 years. If you are at 32, below 30, before you start clocking at 50 years and you start daring to go out, some people they dare at 50 years and they finish all their savings from NSF, and you find they are living a very stressed life, a retirement life. You rather dare when you are still young. So to answer the question, you can quit your job.
The world throws at you.
Yeah, but it's tough. But we have a saying in our language. Either way, you will face it at one point in life. You can choose to face it today, have your own mistakes here and there, polish yourself up, and move on. But
seems my partner doesn't want to play it. So okay.
But Doreen,
yes.
I have also over time learned that it's not about you can succeed even in employment. Yes. Not everyone was made to do business.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not everyone is supposed to do business. So it depends on what you want to do in life. It depends on what is your personal strategic plan like. Because me, I quit because I had promised myself from senior 6 that at 30 years I am going to quit. When to clock 32, I was 2 years late. That's why I dived into the deep waters with both feet. So don't be put on pressure that I normally see on social media that you cannot succeed when you are in your career, when you are employed. That is a lie. It is a lie. There are some people who are getting 40 million. There are some people who are getting 100 million per month in salary. And which kind of business is that can bring you that kind of money? So it depends on your career path and what you want to achieve in life. What you want to achieve in life. Yeah. You can decide to excel in employment and you flourish from employment. You can decide to quit and you come and suffer with us. Then later you excel. I'm not intimidating you. It is tough out there. Let no one ever deceive you that you can, even if it is chapati selling. Even if it's chapati selling, it is tough. It requires your time. It requires commitment, resilience. Yes.
You walk around with a thing, so it's not as easy.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like chapati selling is easy, but I employed a guy and he ran away with the things.
Hey, you have even never done chapati,
So yes, guys, it all begins with what you want to get out of your life. What's your purpose? What do you want to achieve out of life? You know?
Yeah, sure.
But in under 1 minute, Cliff, what would you want to say, you know, to the young people out there who are failing or trying to manage their failure?
The truth is, anyone out there, you can lose time. It's painful. The temptation of comparing yourself with your peers is very high. You might not resist it. You lose time here and there. You try things that are failing, but stick to your lane. Each of us, God has designed us a lane. Whether you're Christian or you're not, you have your own lane. Take that lane consistently. God will. It does not. By the way, God commands time. They might overtake you 20, 3, 4 years. God can choose to cover for you just in 1 year or even 6 months.
Yeah, sure.
And you're at the same level.
Yeah.
So the thing is, stick to your lane, trust God. You'll make it.
Sheila, what do you say to them?
Oh, Cliff has hinted on it. I think it's very paramount that you know the end from the start. What they say, know what you want to be, know it from the start. Because if you know that and failure comes along the way, then failure is going to become a stepping stone to greatness that you actually want to achieve. Thank you.
Herbert, crown the show.
The guy I like so much is the President Emeritus Trump. One time he has of course very many businesses, and he went bankrupt. So he met a beggar on the street, and he realized that this beggar is better than me because he has no loans.
Yes.
Trump had a lot of loans, and the beggar had no loans. But he bounced back. To you can always bounce back. Don't lose hope. It's the worst thing you can ever do, to become hopeless. Don't lose hope, because every successful person has gone through such a kind of failures. Maybe it is a signal that you are going to succeed. What you are going through, it could be a signal that you are going to succeed. Take responsibility of your failure. Don't blame the government. Don't blame the environment around you. Take responsibility and learn from it. Yeah, learn from your failure.
Thank you all for honoring our invite and taking your time really to empower and impact young people out there. Yes, and to everyone watching us today, always tune in every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. to learn and grow with us. We hope that this show can impact you in areas of mentorship, in areas of strategy, in areas of money, and in areas of daring in life. Yeah? Go on our social media platforms. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what topics you want us to talk about. We appreciate you. Thank you, and have yourselves a good night.